Hey gang, it's Chris Angel, and in this video, I want to talk about when homeowners have questions about the economy or other countries' economies, etc. I saw a Facebook group posting today that talked about an agent had a seller who was curious about China's economy slowing down, and is that going to affect our house values? And the recent ramp up in appreciation for houses in a lot of places over the country, is that going to be a bubble that's going to burst? And so this agent was asking the group for thoughts. So I wanted to speak to that for a second. Look, ultimately, here's the end game. You are going to have to do enough research through your MLS, and even through, if you want to look at economic indicators, that's cool too. But you're going to have to do enough research to come up with conviction for your opinion. I think that is, we don't really ever teach that. We sort of teach sometimes, we teach you how to get to a number, but we don't often give you like the reasoning behind it or what to look for so that you can have conviction behind your opinion. And let's just be clear, like nobody has a crystal ball, so everything that comes out of your mouth is an opinion. The difference is in your ability to help ease the concerns of a potential homeowner or a seller is the conviction in your opinion. So, and let me say this too, I think part of what our job then becomes is to help homeowners see what we see in the data, right? That tells a story. And in that, lead them to help them make a good decision, right? Because ultimately it's their decision of what to do in real estate. But we want to present the data in such a way that they can see it for themselves. So, the first thing I want to mention to you then are leading indicators. I learned this years ago from one of my coaches, Mike Fleming, who, amazing man and had a great understanding of economics. And one of the main things I took away from him was this conversation of leading indicators. So a leading indicator is an indication of something that's coming, right? So classic example that Mike gave me was when people start using their credit cards for, department stores, that people are feeling a little bit, they feel like they have more money, so they start spending it on these luxuries like clothes. That would be a leading indicator of a recovery in the economy, right? Conversely, if you start to see unemployment rates increase and more people getting laid off, you could start to see that companies are already starting to downsize in anticipation of something, and so that's a leading indicator of something else happening, right? So you want to start to look for leading indicators. In real estate, leading indicators could be months of inventory. Like if you go from 1 month of inventory to 5 months of inventory, especially in a certain amount of time frame. Like if you go from 1 month of inventory to 5 months of inventory in 6 months, like, wow, something's happening, yeah? If you go from 1 month of inventory to 2 months of inventory to 3 months of inventory, just keep an eye on that. I'm sure that 5 months and less is a seller's market. So in some places in the country, we've come off a market that's super hot where we've had half a month to 2 months of inventory, and all of a sudden we now have 3 or 4 months of inventory, and people are like, oh my God, like is the market, is China's economy totally impacting our house value and what's happening for us? Look, you're still under 5 months of inventory. That's a seller's market. And 5 to 7 months of inventory is a neutral market. That's like healthy, that's normal, that's stable, right? So some of this is looking at leading indicators and going, is there cause for concern, or is this just normal? And we've kind of been in a period of not normal. You're also looking for not just months of inventory in the housing market, but you're also looking like, is there something happening in the economy? Is unemployment going up, right? Because if more and more people get unemployed, they can't afford a house. And if you have a listing, then that means less buyers to buy your house. But if that's not the case, then you don't have to panic, because you can point the homeowner to the unemployment rate. You can also look at affordability index. Look for the median household income. Can it afford the median priced house? And what happened in 2005, 6, 7 was we priced ourselves out of the market. Things appreciated so fast or so high that the median household couldn't afford a house. And so that caused some halting, some slowing down in the real estate market. And then, right, all this perfect storm happened with lots of indicators to cause us to have a recession. But I just want you to start looking for leading indicators and make sure that you can form an opinion about why you think what you think about the direction of the market. Is it going up? Is it going down? Is China's economy going to affect our housing market? Start to look for that. Most of the time it won't be overnight, so you have some leeway. Here's the other thing I wanted to make sure I said. I almost forgot this part, but it might be the most important part. And that is, your seller, for example, is trying to make some decisions. And the reason they're interested in what China's economy is doing versus what, the housing market has been doing is because they're trying to make some decisions for their life. And a lot of times the decision is about where they want to go, right? It's about life plans and lifestyle. And a lot of times lifestyle is a completely separate conversation from the economy, right? Now, ultimately, people get pretty practical and logical, and they want to be able to sell their house for more money. But I think it's our job as consultants to really dig deeper with the homeowner to figure out, what is this about for you? Why are you moving? Are you moving to make money, or are you moving because there's something else at play for you in your life? And if you can get clear about what that is, then you have the ability to make some more clear decisions about what the proper line of action is, right? Because it may be that maybe your leading indicators do show that the economy is slowing down or that the housing market is slowing down. But that doesn't change the fact that the seller still wants to downsize so that they can, right, reposition some of their cash flow into other assets or whatever. Okay, so part of this is looking at leading indicators to get a read on which direction the market's headed. Actually, some of this stuff is stuff I cover in my Intelligent CMA class, where we're actually looking at how do you take your MLS data and look at the direction of the market, right? The other part of this conversation, though, is being a good enough consultant to ask the tough questions like, hey, I appreciate that you're interested in China's economy and how that's going to impact us, but let me ask you, what's going on with you? Why are you even thinking about selling? Like, why sell at all? Don't sell. Why not just hold on to it? Play devil's advocate with people to kind of see if you can't flesh out what else is happening for them. Otherwise, they wouldn't have asked you to have this conversation. So, 1, leading indicators. 2, listen for and ask enough questions for the person's direction in life so you can figure out if the economy is even a factor. It may not even be a factor because their life direction requires that they take certain steps. Okay? All right. Hopefully this is helpful. I guess I'd leave you with is this. Think about, if somebody asked you tomorrow, is China's economy going to impact us? How would you answer that? Make sure you do enough data research to have a conviction behind your opinion. All right? Okay, gang, catch you in the next one.